Thanks everyone for joining us today for our session on our new feature, Website Push. My name is Bruno Bin. I am Marketing Director here at Notificare, and I will be guiding you through this session today. A little bit of an agenda. We're going to get started with a demo of the feature so that you can see what it looks like, the experience for the end user when you are prompted to opt in for these kinds of notifications. So desktop notifications. We're also going to go over what the experience is like logging in the Notificare dashboard and setting up a desktop notification campaign. We're going to go over some use cases. We're going to talk about supported browsers and also how to get set up so that you can start using this new feature. At the end, we're going to have some time for any questions that you might have. So throughout the session, if you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the GoToMeeting box, and I'll do my best to answer them at the end, or I'll be sure to follow up with you with an answer. So let's dive right into it. I'm going to start by showing you a demo of what this feature actually looks like. So I'm going to go here on the Notificare website where we have implemented desktop notifications. As you can see right away, you get this pop-up. I'm using Safari for this demo, and you get a pop-up that says the website Notificare would like to send you push notifications in Notification Center. Notifications can be configured in system preferences. Then the user has the option to allow or not allow to be receiving these. So I'm going to go ahead and click allow. The second box you're seeing here asks if you would like to allow for location tracking. So this is an option that you have when you're implementing this feature. You can also ask users to track their location so that you can use our location services to target your desktop notifications. So again, you don't necessarily have to take this extra step, but it is a possibility. I'm going to go ahead and click allow. And that's it. At that point, I'm opted in. I'm switching back to the Notificare dashboard here, where I'm going to go in to the app that we have for our website. I'm going to go right into audience and users, where I can find my user, which I just opted in for. I'm going to pause for a second just to explain that, one of the great things about desktop notifications is that users don't have to fill out any forms in order to opt in. A big challenge for website managers is to drive returning visitors or to even, capture leads of the visitors that you have. And with desktop notifications, it makes it really easy for people to opt in and become a part of your reachable audience. Obviously, at that point, they are still anonymous. So that's how they're recorded in our database. So here I'm going to the most recent opt-ins, and I can find myself, and I know that's my user because I can see the device being used as a Safari, the version that I have. So I'm going to go ahead and on the top right, choose to send a message. Here in our message composer is where you can see the audience is already set up for my user. I'm going to go ahead and type my message. You can see a preview on the right side of the screen. And all the way at the bottom, I'm going to click send. You can double check, make sure that it's going to the right person, one user, one device. And that's it. Right away, you get the message on the top right. Now, obviously, in most cases, you wouldn't be sending this desktop notification at the moment when someone opts in and just to one user. So what you do is when you implement it, you set it up so that users are automatically added to groups or lists, which are called tags. So in our case, we've set it up so that users are automatically added to tag blog. So you can see we have 753 opt-ins at this point. When you click on that tag, you can see the device that they're all using to opt in. And you see another option here for tag signup. What that means is that you can actually set up tags to be automatically created based on any website behavior that users have. So whether you want to do that by any kind of interest that they show on your site, meaning if it's a web commerce website and they show interest in buying running shoes, you can automatically have them added to a list. Or if they leave a shopping cart that's there and they don't actually complete the transaction, you can add them to a tag. In our case, we add them to tag blog because we use these to distribute our blog posts. Every time there's a new one, we push it to everyone via desktop notifications. So that was it for the demo. I'm going to talk about some use cases, so you can start thinking about how these could apply for your business. An obvious use for these types of notifications are e-commerce websites. So one idea is to use it to announce new products. So here you see a desktop notification there in the top right saying new arrival. The item you've been waiting for is now in stock. 10% off if ordered in the next 24 hours. I find that it's always helpful to kind of create a sense of urgency. So that's the idea with the timestamp there. And you have 24 hours to get the 10% off. You can also use it to announce new sales. So flash sale, 20% off on all women's shoes for the first 100 customers. So again, I'm using the idea of creating a sense of urgency, but now instead of using a time limit, I'm using more of a stock limit, how many of the items are going to go for the 20% off. Still talking about e-commerce, but really this could be applied for other types of websites as well. It's the idea to authenticate unknown users. So in the example here, you see log in with your account and get 10% off any purchase. As I explained, all of these users, they are recorded as anonymous visitors. So you can use the desktop notifications to try to motivate them to become known visitors. The great thing about that is that at the time where they become known visitors, all devices that you have in your dashboard that they use that's associated to their user is going to go under one profile. So that could mean their different browsers, their smartphone, their smartwatch. So all the different devices through which that person is reachable. You can also use it to serve custom offers based on on-site behavior. So here is that idea of creating different tags, setting up different tags based on website activity. So in this case, it's time for new runners. Today only 50% off on all Nike running shoes. In this case, I would have set up a list, a tag, so that anyone who demonstrates interest on living an active lifestyle or Nike as a brand or running shoes, that those can all be different tags, and you can create campaigns specific to target that group to try to convert. And once again, you can think of it as different interests and preferences that they show, but you can also look at it from more of a sales readiness angle. So, someone who visits your pricing page is probably closer to a buying decision. You could have them all added to a list so that you can reach out with campaigns that are targeted at that group trying to convert. The same way, you could have people who visit your careers page added to a tag, and you probably want to suppress them from a lot of these campaigns so that you are focusing on the people who are going to be happy to receive that message. This is probably one of the most obvious uses for e-commerce websites, just to recover abandoned shopping carts. So, when you're on a website, you're looking to purchase something. A lot of times people want to compare prices, so they go to a different site, they might get distracted, they forget to come back and finish the purchase. So you can use this to actually give them a bit of a digital nudge and prompt them to come back to your site and complete the purchase. And that same idea, we talk a lot about customer experience, customer success these days, and we all know that that's king. So you can use this as well to go a step further and let them know an item has been shipped, thank them for their business, or let them know that it will be delivered in 2 days or anything like that. So really just enhancing that experience. This is an example of how we use it for ourselves. So as I mentioned, we use it to distribute every blog post that we post. We publish once a week, and as soon as it goes out, we distribute it to our audience with desktop notifications. It's a much more direct way for us to get to our audience than social media or even email marketing, for example. We actually use this feature along with another add-on feature of our platform called automation. What automation does is it allows you to set up so that anytime there's an update to an RSS feed, it automatically sends out that update as a notification. So for us, I don't have to do anything. I post a blog post, immediately it gets triggered in automation and it's sent out looking just like what you're seeing on the screen. So it's kind of just streamlining our activities or processes, making us more productive. Once again, I really wanted to reinforce the idea of event tagging on the website. You can implement this feature where you're tagging users based on a simple behavior like opting in, but you can also get as complex as you like, and you can add as many events as you like as different tags in the database. So really you have to think about what are the things that you want to be aware of, the behaviors that users take, and how you're going to follow up with them. It's important to talk about supported browsers. So this is a pretty brand new feature all across. So more and more browsers are starting to support it. At this point, we have 92% of all browsers being globally used supporting this feature. We're only seeing this number grow. And here's a breakdown of what that looks like per browser. So on the left side here, you have your Windows-based browsers. So you have your Internet Explorer, and you can see those are still not supporting. On the top right, you have green means supported, red not supported, and yellow partially supported. Right after Edge, you have Firefox, Chrome, Safari, Opera, arguably the most used browsers out there, all widely supporting this feature already. All the way on the right, I would like to point that out. I find that really interesting to see that Chrome for Android is already supporting desktop notifications. It kind of reinforces the idea that this is where we're moving towards. This is just growing, and that basically means that if you're on your phone and you have an Android phone and you go on Chrome and you're browsing, you're surfing the internet, you can actually receive desktop notifications. And that's really interesting because it starts to kind of overlap with the push notifications that you get when you're using an app. So we can see that really we are moving towards this personal one-on-one communication right on your device, super specific. There's a few things that I would like to also point out. These are Safari is actually the only browser where notifications pop up even when users are not on your site. So what that means is when you send the desktop notifications, it goes the person if they have the even if they don't have the browser open on your site, they will receive the desktop notifications on the spot, it goes in the notification center that every Mac has, and they also see the pop-up on the top right of the screen. With all other browsers, they get it as soon as they return to your website. Another couple important things to say, maybe not as widely relevant, but in Firefox, the notifications just appear quite fast, and they also don't support if you send them immediately one after the other. So chances are this is a pretty specific case, but it's good to know. In Firefox, you can't send them immediately after the other. Finally, let's talk about how to get this set up in your Notificare instance. So website push is a feature that's part of our main suite. So it's free with any Notificare plan. All of our customers are welcome to use it. Getting set up is really easy. I broke it down into a couple of steps here for you guys. So first, what you do is you log in, you go under settings, services, website push. Once you click on that option, you're gonna get the screen that you see on the right side of the screen here. And basically you have 4 different fields to fill out. First one, your app's icon. That's the logo that's gonna show up with the desktop notification. So you probably want to add your company logo. In our case, you saw we have the Notificare logo there. It's going to be used on all of your desktop notifications. The second option here is actually an optional field to fill in. Website push ID certificate password. What this means is if you want to be able to push to Safari, you have to go into Apple's developer portal and create a website push ID. To do that, you can follow the link in our guides. You can see the link on the screen and it has all the information you have to get this set up. The third field there, allow domains. That's where you set up, you choose which domains are going to pop up, then the option for people to opt in for your notifications. So in our case, it's just notificare.com. If you go to any page under that domain, you're going to get the pop-up asking you to opt in. And finally, URL format string. That means what page your desktop notifications link to when a user receives them and clicks on them. So in our case, we have our blog page. So this is all the setup you need to do in our dashboard. Next, step 2 is what you have to implement in your website. So basically, you have to add a code snippet to your website. That's going to be different depending on how you would like to implement this. So first, whether or not you want to use location services. During the little demo in the beginning, you saw how you have an option to have a second window that pops up and gives you the option to ask for people's location, so you can target the campaigns by location. If you want to do that, that's an extra code snippet that you need to add to your site. Also, depending on how many events you want to track, the longer your snippets are going to be. So you have to add all the different JavaScripts to make sure that we know how to add them to different tags in our dashboard. You have all the detailed information for this as well in our guides. I have the link here for you guys. And it should be all the information you need to get set up. Once again, this is a new feature. It's free with any Notificare account. So if you think that this could be useful for you, go ahead, try it out. I'm excited to see how our customers make the best out of this. I'm excited to hopefully even learn some different use cases that we haven't thought of and see what we can do with this together.